It was supposed to be just another day at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Planes come and go, that's the rhythm of the place. But on January 8, 2025, that rhythm hit a decidedly off-key note. A jarring, unexpected thud in the daily operations. This wasn't about passengers boarding or luggage being loaded, this was something else entirely, something that happens behind the scenes. The incident involved an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737, a workhorse of the skies. But this particular airplane wasn't heading for the clouds. It was in a testing area under the control of airline mechanics. These are the folks tasked with keeping these giants airworthy. But on this Wednesday afternoon, around 1:43 p.m., something went sideways. Quite literally, as it turned out. A moment of misjudgment, a mechanical ballet gone wrong. Imagine the scene, the vast, windswept expanse of a major Alaskan airport, the distant roar of jets taking off. And then, this. An aircraft, a multi-million-pound piece of sophisticated engineering, ending up where it absolutely shouldn't be. Not on a runway, not on a taxiway, but stuck in a ditch. It's the kind of thing that makes you stop and stare, the kind of thing that sends a ripple of unease through anyone who hears about it, because if it can happen there, in a controlled environment, what else can happen? This wasn't a fiery crash, it wasn't a mid-air emergency. Thank goodness for that, no one was hurt. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it. The Boeing 737, a stalwart of Alaska Airlines' fleet, was being moved. Not by pilots, but by two of the airline's own mechanics. This was happening in a designated testing area of the airport. The task at hand was repositioning the aircraft, a seemingly straightforward job for experienced hands. But the best-laid plans can often go awry. The critical error occurred when the airplane was inadvertently taxied off the designated taxiway. 1 minute it's on solid tarmac, the next, it's not. It veered off course, it found itself on softer ground, and then, with an undignified lurch, it ended up in a ditch. An empty passenger jet, nose down, in a channel designed for drainage, not for parking airplanes. The specifics paint a clear picture of a ground-handling maneuver gone wrong. It wasn't a high-speed event. When something like this happens, the silence doesn't last long. The official channels kick into gear. People need to know what happened, why it happened, and what's being done about it. First up, Alaska Airlines themselves. Tim Thompson, their communications director, confirmed the basics. Yes, it was their plane, and yes, their maintenance team was in the process of repositioning it when it departed the taxiway. Thompson also stated that the airline was working closely with the relevant authorities. They needed to assess the damage to the aircraft, and then there was the small matter of getting it out. Extracting a multi-ton jet from soft ground requires specialized equipment and a very careful plan. The airline's immediate focus was on containment, assessment, and recovery. Then you have the Department of Transportation, or DOT. Their communications director, Shannon McCarthy, confirmed the incident had been reported immediately. McCarthy provided context from the airport's operational perspective. Importantly, she noted that this incident didn't cause any flight delays. It didn't snarl up the main arteries of Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Both statements aimed to reassure. Alaska Airlines emphasized their cooperation and commitment to figuring out what went wrong. The DOT highlighted the limited operational impact. These initial responses are critical in shaping the public perception of an incident. So, the big jet is in a ditch. What happens next, officially speaking? The Department of Transportation classified this particular event as a Stage 1 or Level 1 incident. Level 1 is, essentially, the lowest rung on the incident ladder. It means it's considered minor. No immediate threat to life, no significant disruption to the airport's overall operations. This classification is crucial. It dictates the level of investigation, the resources allocated, and the kind of scrutiny the event will receive. A Level 1 incident doesn't typically trigger a full-blown National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, GO team deployment. However, that doesn't mean it's ignored. Even minor incidents are logged, analyzed, and contribute to the vast data set that underpins aviation safety. They are learning opportunities. The key takeaway from the DOT's classification was that Anchorage could breathe easy. The airport wasn't crippled. The lack of flight delays or operational disruptions reinforces this minor status. It was an internal problem for Alaska Airlines to solve. Section 5, Echoes of Error, the John Wayne Airport Landing Gear Nightmare. The Anchorage incident, while unsettling, didn't happen in a vacuum. To understand the public and industry reaction, it helps to look at other recent events involving the same airline. Cast your mind back to August 20th, 2023. Alaska Airlines Flight 1288 was on its final approach to John Wayne Airport in Santa Ana, California. It was a flight from Seattle, carrying 112 Souls passengers and crew, and it was flying into the teeth of Tropical Storm Hilary. As the Boeing 737 touched down, things went horribly wrong. The left main landing gear collapsed. One moment you're anticipating the familiar bump of the tires hitting the runway, the next, the airplane is lurching violently, dragging its left wing along the tarmac. Sparks flew, smoke billowed, passengers described it as terrifying. This wasn't a gentle mishap in a testing area, this was a full-blown emergency during a live landing with a plane load of people. The NTSB launched an investigation. Their report, released on May 30, 2025, shed light on the cause. Section 6. Sparks and Fear. Passenger accounts from the California scare. The NTSB report on the John Wayne Airport incident provides the technical explanation. But what about the human experience? For the 112 people aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 1288, it was anything but a dry, technical event. Passengers recounted the sheer terror of the moment. Video footage showed the airplane slamming into the ground. The view out the window was a terrifying shower of sparks as the wingtip scraped along the runway, the cabin filled with the acrid smell of smoke and burning metal. In those chaotic moments, fear is a palpable thing. The sudden, violent motion, the screech of tortured metal, the uncertainty of what was happening and what might happen next. Section 7. More close calls. A wingtip Tango at Seattle-Tacoma. The catalog of recent Alaska Airlines incidents doesn't end with a ditched plane in Anchorage or a collapsed landing gear in California. Fast forward to May 17, 2025. The location this time, Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, a major hub for the airline. Here, two Alaska Airlines aircraft, both Boeing 737s, had an uncomfortably close encounter on the ground. Not in the air, thankfully, but close enough to cause concern. And another round of official statements and investigations. It was a minor wingtip collision, a gentle kiss between giants, if you will, but one with implications. The incident occurred just after noon on a Saturday. One aircraft, a Boeing 737-800, was bound for Orange County. The other, a Boeing 737-900, was preparing for a flight to Sacramento. Both were being maneuvered by ground service tugs. During this delicate dance, their wingtips made contact. It wasn't a high-impact crash, but any unintended contact between two multi-million-pound aircraft is a serious matter. It signals a breakdown in ground coordination or procedure. Section 8. The human element anxiety in the age of air travel incidents. Each of these incidents, from the Anchorage ditching to the Seattle wing scrape, contributes to a broader narrative. And that narrative, for many ordinary folk, can fuel anxiety. Air travel, for all its statistical safety, still holds a primal fear for some. You're miles up, in a metal tube, trusting your life to complex machinery and unseen pilots and mechanics. When incidents occur, even those without severe consequences, they tap into that underlying apprehension. The headlines flash, the images circulate, and the what-ifs begin to multiply in people's minds. It's an undeniable psychological impact. Consider the cumulative effect. A plane taxied into a ditch by mechanics, a landing gear collapsing in a storm, showering sparks, two planes bumping wings on the ground. Whilst aviation experts might see these as distinct events, each with specific causes and contexts, the public often sees a pattern. They see an airline's name recurring in news reports associated with mishaps. Section 9. Lessons from the tarmac, aviation safety under the microscope. So what do we take away from these Alaskan episodes and their counterparts elsewhere? The Anchorage incident, the John Wayne landing gear failure, the Seattle wingtip collision, they all serve as potent reminders. Reminders that aviation safety is not a destination but a continuous journey. It's a culture of vigilance, of meticulous attention to detail, of learning from every single event no matter how seemingly small. The ditch in Alaska, while not catastrophic, was a clear signal that even routine ground operations require unwavering focus. A moment's lapse can lead to an expensive, embarrassing, and potentially dangerous outcome. The NTSB's findings on the John Wayne incident are particularly stark. A maintenance error, a bit of excessive grinding years earlier, leading to a fatigue crack and a terrifying landing. It highlights the long tail of maintenance decisions, the responsibility that rests on every mechanic, every inspector, every engineer. It's not just about fixing what's broken today, it's about ensuring the integrity of the machine for thousands of flights to come. This underscores the need for robust training, rigorous oversight, and a culture where reporting potential issues is encouraged, not penalized. The smallest detail can, quite literally, be a matter of life and death. The broader implication of these incidents is the constant pressure on airlines and regulatory bodies to reassess and reinforce safety protocols. Each event prompts a review,